change. Each of you in your own way knows in your heart what is right and what is not correct, and what we don't even wish to say wrong, because simply your reality is a dynamic of choices. Choices made consciously, but you have been, so many of you have been abdicating your responsibility. So many of you have been leaving the choices up to others. So if nothing else, dear ones, if you just take the time and you just take the energy to examine your own beliefs, to examine your own judgments, and you may find out that you all have a lot more in common than you do with the things that make you different. And part of the dynamic is learning to operate within the realms of the third dimension, 3 dimensions, before you can move on to the dynamic of the experience of the fourth. And that's exactly what's happening right now. So many of you are awakening. So many of you are waking up. So many of you are becoming aware of the dynamic that you have just had one deception after another placed upon you, one misbelief after another. You know, so your reality, and you all are really at a point where you have all of the empowerment that you need. If you understand that simply by making another choice, first, reality, thought, word, and feeling. So if you can begin to think about the dynamics of peace beginning with enough for all. In other words, that takes all of that dynamic of pressure away. And in that dynamic, you are technologically advanced enough right now where machinery and robots could be accomplishing 95% of the menial tasks that exist in your world. But then there wouldn't be any jobs, but there would be plenty of work to do. So, if everyone has enough, if everyone is able to do that, don't you think that you, dear ones, would volunteer to do the work that is necessary? Because humanity is a creative and energetic species when all you have to do is remember that that's who you really are. That you really are those primates, those little primates who used to have that dynamic called direct cognition, which each of you still has vestiges of. It's called ESP, it's called remote viewing, it's called this or that or the other thing now, but it is all vestiges of that dynamic of the past. And as soon as you begin to nurture those dynamics, those skills, that art will blossom again. But all you have to do is believe that you're good enough. You don't have to be perfect, but you're good enough. You have all of the abilities, and all you need to do is to begin to change your thoughts. And then once you change your thoughts, your words will follow. And so that begins to create the dynamic of manifestation by putting things into word. And if you add the dynamic of love, which is basically just the raw emotion, if you add that and you keep that dynamic of repetition going within yourself, and you don't do 100,000 yeah buts, because you have to understand the universe, your reality, is asking you to send a clear message. And so in that dynamic of that reality, in the sphere of that reality, everything becomes possible.